Most soldiers fought the war surrounded by others. Snipers didn't. They operated alone, far from their own lines, often closer to the enemy than to their allies. No conversations, no backup, no comfort. Just silence, waiting, and a single decision that could change everything. This is the true story of the loneliest job on the battlefield, the life of a sniper. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It helps more people discover real war history and the human stories behind it. Now, let's step into the sniper's world. Snipers weren't isolated by accident. They were isolated by design. To survive, a sniper had to stay hidden, avoid detection, move silently, operate independently. Being near other soldiers meant noise, movement, and attention. So snipers were sent ahead of friendly lines, deep into no man's land, or behind enemy positions. Isolation wasn't loneliness. It was tactical necessity. When snipers weren't alone, they worked in pairs. One shooter, one observer. That observer wasn't just support. He was. His sniper's eyes, his protection, his lifeline. They trusted each other completely. Because if one failed, both died. Many snipers said they trusted their observer more than anyone else in the army. Most of a sniper's life wasn't action. It was waiting. Hours without movement, without speaking, without knowing if anyone was watching. The mind filled the silence with doubt, fear, imagined threats. Some snipers said the waiting was worse than combat. Because during combat, at least you weren't alone with your thoughts. Snipers didn't just fight enemies. They fought themselves. They carried responsibility for every shot, awareness of consequences, constant fear of being discovered. Unlike other soldiers, snipers chose when someone died. That choice stayed with them. Many veterans said the loneliness wasn't just physical. It was moral and psychological. Snipers endured conditions most soldiers never experienced. They stayed alone in freezing cold, pouring rain, extreme heat. They endured hunger, thirst, insects crawling over their skin, pain from staying still for hours. And they endured it without help. If something went wrong, there was no one coming. Most soldiers could rely on nearby units, medics, reinforcements. Snipers could not. If discovered, escape was the only option. Capture often meant execution. Mistakes were fatal. This reality forced snipers to think differently. Survival mattered more than aggression. One bad decision ended everything. For many snipers, the war followed them home. They struggled with isolation from others, inability to reconnect, discomfort in crowds, silence that felt threatening. The habits that kept them alive in war made normal life difficult. Some said the loneliness never left. Snipers weren't heroes in the traditional sense. They weren't charging forward. They weren't surrounded by brothers in arms. They were alone. They survived through patience, restraint, and silence. And while many survived the battlefield, they carried the loneliness with them for the rest of their lives. The loneliest job on the battlefield wasn't about the rifle. It was about standing apart from everyone else and never truly returning.